What you found in the captain's quarters means the officers willingly blighted half their knights with red lyrium.
Even before some of them realized the Lord Seeker was replaced by a demon.
Which put us in a position to demand more from our alliance. You should have consulted us first.
It was chaos. I couldn't keep the Templars in the courtyard while I searched for a messenger bird.
An alliance with the Templars was our desired outcome. May we discuss their imminent arrival?
A few dozen veterans are coming ahead of the rest to help seal the breach.
How soon until these veterans arrive?
They're almost here. Templars don't like to be late.
Maker!
Wait!
I came with you to help. I would have told you before, but you were busy.
That's fine, Cole. You just startled us, appearing out of thin air.
I wasn't air. I was here. You didn't see me. Most people don't until I let them.
Call the guards. This creature is not what you...
A moment, please, Cassandra. I would like to hear why he came.
You help people. You made them safe when they would have died. I want to do that. I can help.
Why and how would you help the Inquisition?
The hole in the sky is too loud for spirits to think. It's pulling, pushing out pain. I want to stop it.
How altruistic of you.
I want to help. I can be hard to see. I can kill things that would hurt people. I won't get in the way.
Cole saved my life in Theronfall. I couldn't have defeated Envy without him.
But what does he want now?
I think he really is trying to help.
I won't be in the way. Tiny, no trouble, no notice taken unless you want them to.
You're not honestly suggesting we give him run of the camp?
Not freely, perhaps, but it seems a waste to... Hold on.
Where did he go?
Let's finish what we came here to discuss.
I'll have people watch the boy. But let's not be distracted from the breach.
We'll need your help when the Templar veterans arrive. Take time to prepare while you can.
It is good that you salvaged as many Templars as you did, my dear. We will need every Templar, but they will require proper management. We also need to increase our lyrium supplies considerably. The Chantry may still have stockpiles we can use.
We likely need more than they have. Our enemies have magic that can rip open the Fade.
Indeed. We may need Josephine to open negotiations with the dwarves directly. The breach has done more than disfigure the sky. The veil itself is broken. All mages, no matter how skilled, are now in danger of drawing demons to them. Before this crisis is over, you may find that Templars, flawed as they may be, are all that stand between us and chaos.
It's a good idea to plan for trouble.
I'm glad you understand. Magic is dangerous, just as fire is dangerous. Anyone who forgets this truth gets burned.
The Dalish get along just fine without Templars or Circle Towers.
As I understand it, the elves limit their risk by refusing to have more than 3 mages in a clan. Tell me, what becomes of the Dalish youngster who is not appointed first or second?
If a clan can't raise the mage, they're sent to another that's in need of a first or second.
And if there are no clans in need of a new apprentice? For those who value survival, sentimentality is not an option. Tell me something. You said once that you wanted to change things. What future would you build for mages?
Mages shouldn't be kept out of the Chantry. Who knows the dangers of magic better than a mage?
A curious idea. Such twists and turns your mind takes. It's something to consider, my dear.
The Inquisition appreciates your assistance in this matter, Lady Corbin.
And my miners appreciate your business. You'll have your lyrium by the end of the week. I should tell you, Ambassador, the Chantry raised some fuss when they learned about our arrangement.
The Inquisition must certainly seem an audacious idea to the Grand Clerics. We hope to convince them it is a necessary one as well.
I'll take my leave. Good day.
Who is she, Ambassador?
A merchant. I thought we should reach out to the dwarves to secure lyrium for the Inquisition's Templars. According to Lady Corbin, it raised the ire of the Chantry.
How?
Access to lyrium makes us rather more formidable than anticipated. We're becoming a challenge. Sadly, the remaining Grand Clerics appear to be consolidating the Chantry's power, instead of comforting the masses.
The Chantry should be a place of hope, not another group scrambling for answers.
That must be its strength again. The Chants did much to bridge nations. Little but the Chantry ties Orlais, Nevarra, Ferelden, Antiva, and even Rivain to a common cause.
Has the Chantry truly promoted such peace?
Andraste's chant is familiar across kingdoms, a source of many shared customs. That is the crucial point. Common ground is the start of all negotiations.
I suppose a shared faith can be useful when talking with strangers.
Precisely. And these similar interests are merely where we begin. We must learn to think beyond our own wants, to secure peace in Thedas.
Planning to steer the history of the world, Ambassador Montillier?
I believe the Inquisition is already charting that course. Which brings me to a question, if you have a moment. The remaining Grand Clerics sent a missive inquiring about the events at the Temple of Sacred Ashes. They demand to know whether the Inquisition officially claims that Andraste saved you from the breach. If it were up to you, how would you reply?
Will my answer change your reply to the Chantry?
If Leliana, Cassandra, Cullen, and I could agree on our official stance, I could answer that. We should decide soon. The revered mothers don't seem to know what to make of you.
I'd tell the Chantry that Andraste herself shielded me from harm.
I'd truly like to hear the debates that would raise in El Royo. Thank you for your thoughts. A good day to you.
Do you need anything more, revered mother?
To be saved, child.
We will study that. Hello? Can I help you with something?
You said that you were keeping some of the Tranquil safe.
Yes. The mages took some of them when my circle rebelled, but the rest were forgotten. Most circle mages look down on the Tranquil, or try to pretend they don't exist. They don't have any emotions. They can barely take care of themselves, can't defend themselves at all. It's a shame. I like them better than most people.
Why would you want to spend time with the Tranquil?
They're polite. They don't bother you if they don't need something. When they study, they have a focus no normal person could ever match. But the Templars, even some of the mages, mistreated them just because they could. The Tranquil never fought back. If not for that, I don't know. Doesn't really matter now.
I'll speak with you later.
Travel safely.
My scouts are posted on the ridges in case there's any trouble.
At your service.
Let's see what we have.
All right. The elite of the Templars are ready, Herald. Be certain you are prepared for the assault on the breach. We cannot know how you will be affected.
I understand you were instrumental in garnering the assistance of the Templars. It is well done. And I pray this Inquisition fares better than the Chantry in its handling of magic.
You disapprove of something the Chantry did? Are you allowed to do that?
That largely depends upon one's company. While surrounded by those declared heretics already, I am safe enough. In some ways, Andraste had the simpler task. Magic should serve man, and not rule over him. That tells us what should be, but it does not tell us how to get there. So many times the methods of men have undone the spirit of their goals. Once you have sealed the breach, we shall see whether this Inquisition is truer to the Chantry, or its own namesake.
Growing up Dalish, I heard little about your Chantry. Can you tell me about it?
Of course. Too many think that the Chant of Light should only be sung by humans. The truth is that knowledge of the Maker and Andraste should be open to all who wish to learn of him. We believe the Maker created us, and that mankind's sinful nature caused him to turn away. With Andraste's blessing, the Maker will forgive mankind once the Chant of Light is sung from all corners of this world.
Why does the Chantry allow only human women to become priestesses?
The official doctrine is that elves and dwarves have turned further from the Maker than humanity. And as for men, the chant holds that they are more vulnerable to anger or passion. But in truth, it is simply political, added after Andraste's death, like too many of our beliefs.
If you don't believe these restrictions are what Andraste wanted, why haven't you tried to change them?
Has the current state of the world not taught you the folly of fighting too many battles at once? I chose to use what power I had to help peasants forgotten by the nobles of Orlais. I believed there would be time to address their inequality under the Chantry once we had saved them from starving.
What is your stance on magic?
Andraste put it simply. Magic must serve man, not rule over him. However, those words must be put into the proper historical context. Andraste led a rebellion against the Tevinter Imperium, whose magisters controlled most of the world at the time. Even then, she never called for all mages to be put to death. She believed in peaceful coexistence.
I don't recall the Chantry being as tolerant of magic as you describe.
No. The Chantry is an imperfect vessel, pulled in every direction by those who would steer its course. Yet the Templars rebelled precisely because divine Justinia was not restrictive enough. Perhaps the Inquisition will find a better way.
There were calls for an exalted march to put down the Mage Rebellion. What was your opinion?
It was ignorant gossip. An exalted march only succeeds when it carries the will of the people. Even then, it cannot be undertaken lightly. People are too easily frightened. We cannot destroy everything they fear. An exalted march is justified only against a true threat to this whole world. It is an offense to the Maker to use it as a political bludgeon, or as a means of spreading the chant of light.
A pity voices like yours were not louder when an exalted march crushed my people.
That is a hotly debated matter in some circles of the Chantry. Your people had conquered Mont-Semerd and threatened Val Rayo itself. They were not helpless victims. But even then, Orlais was the only nation to provide troops. It was hardly an exalted march of all the faithful. The Maker wishes his world to spread by example, not by war. We win no converts with blood.
Farewell.
Farewell.
My Creator, judge me whole. Find me well within your grace. Touch me with fire that I be cleansed. Tell me I have sung to your approval.
I don't understand. Even the Templars have left the Chantry now. What's going to happen?
The Chantry doesn't know what it's doing any longer. Listen to Seeker Pentagast. She'll find a way to seal that breach. And when she does, the Chantry will have to admit we were right.
Nice work with those supplies. The Smiths can use them to fit our troops with better gear. Might not affect you much, but our recruits will have better chances next time some monster flies out of a rift.
Farewell.
Make a go with you. Thanks for checking anyway.
The Templars will be an asset to this Inquisition. It's a shame we couldn't also get the mages on our side.
Anything I should know?
Having the Templars join the Inquisition has done wonders for our reputation. The people trust the Templars, and now they trust us.
I'll leave you to your work.
So, the Templars joined the Inquisition. Even with Cullen here, I never thought that would happen. Of course, after Kirkwall, I never thought anyone would use red lyrium on purpose either. The Templars should know better than anyone what that shit does to people. Finding more of it really punches a hole in my red lyrium at the temple was a coincidence theory.
How long does it take for red lyrium to grow? How fast can it spread?
It took years to infect people in Kirkwall, but no one there was actually ingesting the stuff. This Elder One managed to take the worst thing I can think of and make it worse. That's an accomplishment.
We can't leave a single piece of that lyrium out in the wild.
I'm with you on that. I've got people trying to find out where the red stuff came from. I think maybe we should make that a priority. But that's enough doom and gloom. You just won a big victory for the Inquisition. What are you going to do to celebrate?
That's a good point. We should celebrate. A banquet. Something like a banquet.
A word to Josephine, and I bet she could arrange anything. Things should be calm around here for at least the next hour. Take a moment to enjoy it. If the world's about to end, I'm sure the Seeker will let us know.
And you've heard nothing of this Elder One before, in any of your investigations?
Nothing. I'm sorry.
No, it's taken all of us by surprise. We must... I don't know. He compromised the Templars, and is likely responsible for the disappearance of the rebel mages.
And we know nothing about him.
We will soon enough.
Charter, If you're free later, would you like to have a drink at the tavern?
Are you courting a knife here, Scout Pallane?
No, I don't know. I used to drink with the soldiers, but I can't talk with them anymore, not really.
You've seen enough pieces to have some idea of the size of the game we're playing.
Yes, and I'm sorry. You understand. This elder one, there's no one I can talk to.
I'll be in the tavern this evening. Perhaps you could buy me a drink. Make sure you take a bath first.
Master Harry said we weren't to sell Inquisition blades.
What Harry doesn't know won't hurt him. Greetings.
Until later.
Stay safe.
You took in the Templars. You let them stay in strength, even after what they did. Their own people. It's dangerous when too many men in the same armor think they're right. You should prepare. It's already getting louder.
What's going to be loud?
I don't know, but there are echoes rushing back across us, ripples in eponymous stone, but backward. But first, you seal it. I hope it hurts less. I'll help if I can, but I don't always say it right.
You helped me at the Seeker Fortress. Say it however you like.
I helped. It's good to hear. I will try.
I'd like to talk with you about Templars.
They're heavy with forgotten songs, like Varric. Some of them are too loud. It's hard to stay near them. Cullen is softer, but demons asked questions that hurt him. Evangeline was kinder. I want to explain, but Reese's mother spoke to spirits, but not to him. Then she died for a Templar he loved. Words just bounce off the edges. Been changed, and their bodies are incomplete now. The lyrium helps, but their bodies always want to connect to something older, bigger than they are. That's why they block magic. They reach for that other thing, and magic has no room to come in. Like when I listen to Varric.
Can you tell me more about how the Red Templars are different?
The red lyrium is different, darker, daggers under the skin. It eats you inside until you're nothing. They hear a different song. The song behind the door old whispers want opened. They are dead and dark and done.
What's your general opinion of Templars?
Some like hurting mages. It makes them happy, or less afraid, or dreams again. Woke up shaking, stalking the ground for one who looks like her. Always some rule being broken. But not all Templars listen when whispers crawl around inside them. They try to protect people, like Cullen. The good ones remember that mages are people.
I'll talk to you later.
Probably.
Templars filling up the place. Best of the polished helms come to save us. Good partners, I suppose, if they decide to stay and do what they're told. Seem to have a problem with that.
I can't tell. Do you approve of Templars or not?
Approve? They do their job when they do it. What else is there to know? You want about anything else?
Tell me about yourself.
What about me?
I'm just interested in talking to an elf like me.
Don't think so.
Why not?
Well, maybe you're alright, but most elves are too... elfy. Like that soulless, right? Never be as good as we were. Well, who's we? I'm just fine.
I think there's more to it than that. A few thousand years more.
Hey, someone wants to be angry about old debts, be angry. Be a terror that never lets an enemy forget. But if you're digging it up so you can wear it, that's just weird. I mean, you Dalish don't really know. You have stories, but that's all they are. It's all fancy dress, not history.
You're skilled. Who taught you how to use a bow?
No one.
That seems unlikely.
What? I picked it up here and there. Mostly it just makes sense. It's not like that for you.
It never occurred to you that doing what you do should require some effort.
Well, yeah. I practice. Some. Not like Cullen and his pets. I mean, you miss, then you don't. Is it that hard to see when it's wrong?
Well, it's not like that for other elves, I know that.
Most I know couldn't find an arrow sitting on it. Right. Maybe I just make it look easy in shite company. Fact still is, no teacher. Where would I find one in alleyways, anyway?
How about the basics? Where are you from?
Ferelden?
I got that from the accent. Where in Ferelden?
All over? Okay, fine. Denerim for a bit. South, north, wherever I want.
There are no connections you want to mention at all?
Nope.
How very Kunari of you.
What?
Never mind.
Good, right?
We'll talk later.
If you say so.
Can I get you anything to eat while you're here?
Sarah was never an agreeable girl. Her tongue tells tales of rebellion.
Yes,
but she
I talk to dragons.
so quick with her bow. No one quite knew where she came from.
Can I get you?
Sarah was never quite the quietest girl. Her attacks are loud and they're joyful. But she knew the ways of nobler men, and she knew how to enrage them.
Listen, I'm not saying that the Chantry doesn't do good work, but there's more to life than singing and praying. You used to feel that way too.
How I feel has nothing to do with what must be done right now.
So the Templars will put their powers to use, sealing the breach. Any group corrupted by a demon must be watched carefully. At least they know how to fight.
I expected an apostate mage would hate Templars.
They have flaws, but I try to understand them. You cannot change anything without understanding.
You're a surprising person, Solus.
This campaign promises to be full of surprises. Speaking of which, you should ready yourself.
For?
This Elder One. You have now interfered with his plans twice. Once at the Temple of Sacred Ashes, and now again with the Templars. A being who aspires to godhood is unlikely to ignore such an affront.
Felissa said to check with you to make sure these are safe to serve.
They're fine. Nobody will take sick as long as she boils them right. Smart woman for asking, though. You're back. And in one piece.
How are your people holding up?
No one's declared me a heretic recently, so I won't complain.
Farewell.
The Chantry isn't supporting us.
I told you that it was complicated. Without the Divine...
You people, with your fancy robes and your fancy words, make you think you're better.
Greetings. Fire is her water. As the moth sees light and goes toward flame, she should see fire.
We got the Templars on our side. Glad to hear it. I'll keep the charges at a respectful distance. Not that the Chief has any apostates in the group.
Can you think of any other tasks suitable for the Chargers?
We don't have much information about what's happening in Redcliffe's castle now that the mages have gone silent. I could have some of the boys poke around. If nothing else, we get a better look at the land.
We'll talk later.
Demons. It had to be demons. Getting into your head. Messing around.
If you're nervous about demons, I can protect you.
My blade pretty much protects me.
Perhaps I can do things your blade can't.
I don't know. It has blood grooves. Well, technically, it's the fuller, but blood grooves sound so much more violent. Anyway, I hope our new friends have what it takes to close the breach. Damn thing gives me a headache just looking at it.
Travel safely.
Pass my thanks to the researchers.
Of all the things in the world, a demon who wears someone's face. I imagine it makes trusting others risky.
Risk is what keeps life exciting, don't you think?
Until you lose. It's easy to speak well of trust when yours has never been misplaced.
You're oddly charming for a man I found wandering the forest.
I always thought myself more odd than charming. But I'll take a compliment from a lady. They're hard to come by these days.
Compliments or ladies?
Both. So, is there something large and heavy you need moved?
I was just looking to chat. No ulterior motive.
Well, I do enjoy our chats. I have to say, my lady, you're unlike any woman I've ever met. I'm flattered you'd spend any time with me. I enjoy your company.
Nothing right now. Perhaps in a bit.
Blessed are the righteous, the lights in the shadow. In their blood,
Draw your last breath, my friends.
See
Cross
reason,
the
LESEDI.
veil and the
We cannot
fade,
stay here.
Commander
and
Cullen
all
took
the
me
stars
aside
in
to
the
explain what
sky
happened at the redoubt.
rest at the Maker's
Disturbing
right
news,
hand,
but I'm
and
glad
be
you were there to
forgiven.
intervene. Thank you.
How did you come to be a Templar?
It seemed the right thing to do. My family are tradesfolk in Denerim. I could have become a cobbler like my father, but this seemed better. We'll see how right I am in time.
I will talk to you later.
Walk in the Maker's grace.
Cole, or whatever he calls himself, may have helped at Theronfall, but that doesn't mean we should trust him.
I will vouch for Cole's character. Give him a chance.
I'd rather he keep away from me. I suppose my concerns can wait. We must focus on the breach. The Templars are making final preparations. After what happened with the Lord Seeker, they're eager to prove themselves.
The Templars aren't responsible for what happened at Theronfall. They have every right to be here.
I do not question those joining us. Only those who betrayed them first. I knew parts of the Order were corrupt, but Red Lyrium? What were they thinking? If you had not gone to Therenfor, there would have been no one left to save.
I'd like to know more about the Templars.
What would you like to know?
Do the Templars do anything besides hunt mages?
Templars protect against the dangers of magic. Before the Order left the Chantry, that meant serving in a circle. They were also tasked with tracking apostates, or fighting demons inevitably summoned by the weak or malicious.
What do you think of mages? Are they all a threat?
I've seen the suffering magic can inflict. I've treated mages with distrust because of it, at times without cause. That was unworthy of me. I will try not to do so here. Not that I want mages moving through our base completely unchecked. We need safeguards in place to protect people, including mages, from possession, at the least.
You've lived in the Circle. What was a typical day for a Templar there?
Typical? The last time I was in a circle was right before it fell apart. Nothing was typical.
Before that, then?
Certain rituals require a full guard. A mage's howling, for instance. I've attended a few. Most of the time, you merely maintain a presence, on patrol or in the circle, ready to respond if needed. Mages pretend to ignore that presence, but they're watching you just as closely.
Do Templars and mages never speak to each other?
Some do, but Templars are supposed to maintain a certain distance from their charges. If a mage is possessed or uses magic, you must act quickly, without hesitation. Your judgment cannot be clouded. Of course, ignoring one another does nothing to foster understanding.
Why did you join the Order?
I could think of no better calling than to protect those in need. I used to beg the Templars at our local chantry to teach me. At first, they merely humored me. I must have shown promise, or at least a willingness to learn. The Knight Captain spoke to my parents on my behalf. They agreed to send me for training. I was 13 when I left home.
13? That's still so young.
I wasn't the youngest there. Some children are promised to the Order at infancy. Still, I didn't take on full responsibilities until I was 18. The Order sees you trained and educated first.
What about your family? Did you miss them?
Of course, but there were many my age who felt the same. We learned to look out for one another.
What does Templar training involve?
There is weapon and combat training. Even without their abilities, Templars are among the best warriors in Thedas. Initiates must also memorize portions of the Chant of Light, study history, and improve their mental focus.
Did you enjoy your training?
I wanted to learn everything. If I was giving my life to this, I would be the best Templar I could.
You were a model student.
I wanted to be. I wasn't always successful. Watching a candle burn down while reciting the Chant of Transfigurations wasn't the most exciting task. I admit, my mind sometimes wandered.
Do Templars take vows? I swear to the Maker to watch all the mages. That sort of thing.
There's a vigil first. You're meant to be at peace during that time, but your life is about to change. When it's over, you give yourself to a life of service. That's when you're given a filter. Your first draft of Lyrium and its power. As Templars, we are not to seek wealth or acknowledgement. Our lives belong to the Maker and the path we have chosen.
A life of service and sacrifice. Are Templars also expected to give up physical temptations?
Physical? Why... why would you... That's not expected. Templars can marry, although there are rules around it, and the Order must grant permission. Some may choose to give up more to prove their devotion, but it's not required.
Have you?
Me? No. I've taken no such vows. Maker's breath. Can we speak of something else?
That's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Another time, then.
Something must be done, immediately.
Nothing will be done.
Commander Cullen said the same thing. It's an outrage. There are mages here we know are guilty of heinous crimes. You would let that pass?
Yes, as will you. We are not here to coddle the Order. You are an ally. Act like one.
How are we supposed to...
Deal with it. It never ends, evidently.
You don't need to tell me that.
I just don't know who told them I'm the one to yell at.
Is it that bad?
The Templars need to learn they have other uses than hunting mages. It's not easy for them. It is your doing, after all. You created this alliance.
You would have done differently, I suppose.
Oh. I do sound like I'm blaming you, don't I? I don't disapprove. In fact, you did well. You made a decision when it needed to be made. And here we are. I wish I could say this was my doing.
We wouldn't be here at all if you hadn't stood up against the Chantry.
You're being kind.
You're discounting your role in this.
Let's close the breach. Then we can say how successful I was.